Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're back with another episode of The Spin with our friend Kevin Griffin. How you doing, Kevin?
Doing well. How about you?
As always, just trying to stay out of trouble. And, folks, we've been bringing these to you twice a month. In January, we're going to go all the way through March. And, we always, Kevin, like to ask our Norvice ambassadors to tell us about their fishing season.
Well, I haven't had much of a season lately because I've been working so much. But I guess the last time I went, it was big and ugly. Was getting it done. So mostly been tying articulated zonkers and game changers and things of that nature to try to move. I've got some big fish in the river by my house, and so normally in the wintertime it takes something big and ugly to get their attention and get them to move.
Yeah, so, just so folks know, you kind of live in kind of the trout capital in North Georgia, so you've got access to all kinds of water. You must have a pretty good fishing season.
I do. I fish. Luckily, I've got a wife that supports me, and knock on wood, she's never complained about me fishing, so I get to go, pretty much whenever I'm free, I can go to the river, and that's my happy place, and that's the main reason I live where I live.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those silver linings we talked before we started recording. It's one of those kind of silver linings of COVID that you got the green light to go live wherever you wanted to because you could work remotely.
That's right. And as soon as they gave me that opportunity, it probably wasn't a couple months later that we purchased a cabin in Blue Ridge. So that's where I've always wanted to be, and that's probably where I'll be until I part the earth,
Yeah. And so, you were talking about kind of as cold weather was kind of driving you to the device to kind of tie the big and ugly stuff. But I also know the tying tip that you're going to make the video to share with folks is kind of your take on the stimulator. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, this is a fly that I came up with years ago and presented it to Orvis, and Orvis accepted the pattern, and I named it the Stimacator. And the way it came about was I used to live in the Atlanta area and fish Chattahoochee River quite a bit, and always helped with the stocking each year. And I was there one year helping stock the river. And then after you stock, you get to go out and educate the new dumb trout. So we were out there fishing after we had stocked it, and a friend of mine was fishing next to me, and he had on a huge pink thingamabobber indicator fishing. And 4 casts in a row, he had a trout come up and hit the thingamabobber. And I just looked over at him and told him, if you had a hook in that, you would be catching fish right now. And so while I was fishing that afternoon, you know how you just kind of play through things in your head and you kind of wander and relax while you're out there. And so I spent that afternoon fishing and thinking of something I might could come up with that would kind of combine a dry fly with a thingamabobber. And so when I got to the vise that night, I decided to come up with basically the stimulator pattern, but incorporate a styrofoam ball on the front of it, kind of like a lightning strike indicator ball. And so I created the first one. I did a lot of revisions until I got it exactly the way I wanted it. But that was the invention of the Stimacator, and it's a fly that I still use to this day. Anytime I'm dry dropper fishing, that's what I've got up at the top, and it'll hold 2 tungsten bead nymphs, heavy nymphs without budging. And I put yank on it when I first get on the river that morning, and I never have to touch it again. So it casts well, it's easy to see, and it holds up heavy flies. So it's been a really good pattern for me.
Yeah, and I guess the great thing too is I would imagine you can really crank those out because you don't have to basically measure and tie that hackle body like you would on a normal stimulator.
Yeah, it's once you get the wing of the stimulator done, then it's basically just putting down a thread base and tapering it, and then just using a pair of scissors to hollow out the styrofoam ball and have it tapered so that it fits on there snug. And then I just use Zap-A-Gap to attach it, and then that the fly stays. It's very, very durable. I can use one for months and months if I don't end up putting it in a tree somewhere.
Yeah, I have the tree problem myself. and so I would imagine that folks are going to be able to see you somewhere on the show circuit here in 2023. Where are you going to be tying for folks?
I know for sure I'll be at the Atlanta Fly Fishing Show. Right now, I'll be there all day that Saturday, possibly Sunday, and then I'm probably going to be looking at tying at the Trout Fest in Blue Ridge that comes up. I believe it'll be in April.
Yeah, got it. And when you say you're going to be at the Atlanta Fly Fishing Show, you're actually going to be in the Norvice booth. You're not going to be on the tying row, correct?
Right. I'll be with Tim O'Neill, the owner of Norvice, and I normally man the booth with him and his wife Michelle, and it gives me a chance to see them and catch up on things, and it's something I really enjoy, and I get to see a lot of my fly fishing buddies that come through every year too.
Yeah, and the great thing is, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I guess they're going to make it a 3-day show, which I think should be really, really good. That's the first time the show in the Southeast has been 3 days in probably over 10 years.
Yeah, I would love to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but unfortunately, I've got work commitments that Friday. So hopefully, I'll just be able to come and tie that weekend.
Yeah. And, Kevin, if folks wanted to kind of keep up with your fishing adventures and your tying adventures, where can they find you on social media?
They can find me on Facebook, and my Facebook name is at kevin.p.griffin, and then my Instagram is at kevin.p.griffin as well. And so I try to stay active on social media and post videos and photos of all my fishing adventures.
Yeah. And are you doing any kinds? I know some of the other Norvice ambassadors are doing live tying events and things like that. Are you doing anything like that kind of regularly on your Facebook page?
I'm going to. I've got my man cave set up now, which I call the Trout Shack, and I've got 2 Norvices set up, and I've just got to get the video worked out, and I'm planning on getting real active and doing some time videos out there now that I have everything set up.
Well, that's awesome. Something for folks to look forward to, so everybody, if you're going to be at the Atlanta Fly Fishing Show, stop by the Norvice booth and see Kevin and see Tim and everybody else on the crew. And I want to give a shout out to our friends at Norvice and thank them for sponsoring the spin. Remember, folks, these are going to come out twice a month between now and the end of March. And if you drop into the show notes and click on the link, it'll take you straight to the Norvice YouTube page, and you'll be able to see Kevin's video on how to tie the Stimmicator. And look forward to seeing everybody in Atlanta in a few weeks. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Kevin.
Tight lines.